Wow. It's your girl, baby. It is the mule. I am back for, I guess, part two of this first stream, but my sound muster was out. So I am back. Mic check, mic check. Hopefully, you guys can hear me better. I'm going to give you a few seconds to come on in. Come on in. And just let me know if you guys can hear me. Oh man, I'm gonna have to redrop another link. Let me do that now in the beginning because it's not like this a new show. It's the same show. Can you hear me now, Queen Cascade? I don't know what was going on. Uh, Let me see. Queen Cascade said round two. It is round two. Queen Cascade, can you hear me though? I don't know what's going on with StreamYards, y'all. This is like crazy. But my alarm went off at 5:45, and so nobody could hit me after that, I guess. So let me try to go out and pin this link. Pinners. Okay, I'm gonna put that up there. Okay. So I want everybody to please hit the like button and subscribe as you come in. But back to the conversation. I don't want to just dwell on this. Yes, it is glitching. I don't know, but I heard Big J. I heard everything that was being said. It's just you guys couldn't hear me apparently. So, but my whole thing is, I want to play a little bit of this pro white male leadership, and I know a lot of the black men hate when I play this, right? But the only reason why I want you guys to know the hate that you're speaking is this. What's good, Mella?
Hey, we're approaching the new year. We made it, girl.
Almost there, girl. Almost.
That's right. It's going to be a fabulous 2023. I saw that you were live in a previous stream. I heard Big J. Um, I am going to contribute some helpful information, and that's what I came here to do.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not going to just run my mouth, right? I'm going to actually um, okay, there it is. I typed something that hopefully is useful regarding your topic previously. And and I'm just here to listen and be helpful, believe it or not, despite my reputation, despite my online performances and getting, you know, easily offended to the point where
I
I
like
say,
that, Mella. Mella, can you read that for everybody?
oh, okay, let me try to do
I
that.
like that. That's really nice.
Now,
What a
I
good
don't have
name.
advanced technology. Um, I'll just go to the back chat and see what I can read it. All right. What is a good man? Many will agree that a good man is committed to his relationship and partner. A good man regards and respects his partner even in disputes. He understands that relationships demand love, patience, commitment, and endurance. One of the signs you have a good man is when you see him as your safe place. And the reference of that article is titled 15 Definitive Signs You're with a Good Man. It's at marriage.com. Did I do good? Yeah.
No, you did real good. But yes,
Did I
and I
do a
I
good
like
thing?
you're so crazy, Mella. And yeah, what is a good man? Many will agree that a good man is committed to his relationship and partner.
That means being a provider too. Hmm.
But you know
It doesn't
what?
have to
Let me,
say provider to, because commitment is part of the provision. You know,
you
you're
know
going to
what? I'm gonna be
provide for
honest
what
with
you're
you.
committed
I'm
to.
I'm 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 so sick of hearing that a man is supposed to provide and protect. Let me just be honest.
Yeah, let's break that down.
This shit is such a scam on YouTube. That saying that a good man just gonna provide and protect. What if the woman provide and protect? This is craziness.
Mm-hmm.
When I
Mm-hmm.
leave my house and I have to go to work, when I have to bring my
Mm-hmm.
kids to practices, when I have to
Right.
bring the kids here and there, my husband is at his own job.
Hmm.
You understand? I
Exactly.
contribute to the household, so I'm a provider, right? So I take care of the kids, so I have to protect them. So
Mm-hmm.
this is my bull, the shit that I don't understand what a lot of the YouTube talking
It's
points.
the bait and switch. These are
It's
things.
like, listen, this don't even this is not even reality. You're
Exactly.
not
And that's the bait
always
and
gonna be
switch.
with someone else. You're not always gonna be with your mate. So sitting
Hmm.
up here saying that all a good man does is freaking provide and protect. What if you are providing and protecting as well?
And that is the bait and switch tactics that have kept people in circular arguments throughout YouTube for years, because these are terms, and they also use blanket statements. And when I say they, I'm talking about content creators who only care about the longevity of their channel. They keep up the sauce, they keep mixing the stew, they keep serving the stew of bullshit that consists of blanket statements and, dare I say, bait and switch tactics. Because we all know that in a family, everybody's providing. Everybody. So
Everybody's provided, everybody's
everybody,
protected,
and
everybody's doing every damn thing.
and the bait and switch of it
If
all
you are a
is,
good family, if you are a cooperative family, if
that's
you are
correct.
not a male chauvinist family,
That's correct.
everyone is doing everything.
That's
Listen,
correct.
my
And that's the
husband have
Blake.
to sometimes go and pick up the kids and bring the kids to a practice. Sometimes
Hmm.
he have to make sure everybody get dinner. This is bullshit where they sit up here and make it seem like what is a woman job and what is a man job. Listen, when my husband
These
was deploying
content
out,
creators play with
it's
words.
bullshit. Yeah.
That's all they do, because they
Everybody
have to
got to
keep
do
their
what
channel
needs to
going.
be done in a real family. In a real
They're,
family, who can do it? Who can get there first? That's what they
and
got
you
to
know
do.
what, Mule? And for some of them, it's not even about making money, right? For some of them, it's about once they get that dopamine rush of being popular, they don't want to let it go. And so, whatever it took to get that dopamine rush of popularity, they keep rolling with it. And they know they're full of shit. Like deep down inside, they know they are full of shit. But what they choose to do is keep it going, because that's what gave them that surprise, you are popular type of thing, right? And I've seen it with, dare I say, some of the, like, tens of the people that have tens of thousands of subscribers, but they started out with like five. Like they started out with five maybe several years ago. and now they got tens of thousands, and they even escalate to approaching hundreds of thousands, if not more. And it's because they get a rush, and God forbid they get monetized and compensated for the bullshit that they're spewing. Then you got a whole nother persona on your hands. And people that aren't prone to examine the behavior of others, their consistency, and track how they do things, you will be able to discern who actually cares versus who is looking for that pat on the back to keep going. You see what I'm saying?
And this is why I say I don't believe that women should have to follow or have worry about male leadership. Let me tell you something. I know so many productive, successful women who are leading themselves, but the minute they want to get with a man, they turn freaking dumb. They turn into imbeciles. They turn into, oh, oh, I don't know what he said, and then you ruin your life. I have seen successful women ruin their life, getting with a man who don't know shit, because this is what society have told them that they should do.
Well, black women, we believe in a fixer upper too damn much, if you ask me.
Too much, and,
I,
and to the fact that they fall to want to pretend to be dumb, and they weren't dumb before they got with them, but they dumb as hell now. And then when everything go wrong, and this man has led them to their destruction, now they want to say, "Oh, well, he did this," and I don't have that. I have sympathy, but I also think, why did you allow this? At no point did your common
because,
sense fucking kick in. I'm
well,
sorry. I'm sorry. Let me tell you something. I've been with this man for forever, but ain't no damn way my common sense shouldn't kick in and say, nah, that don't sound right. We ain't doing it.
yeah, I would say now, never having raised a daughter, I would say in my present state of mind, uh, throughout my entire experience in this thing called life, I would advise her to that what would be in her best interest is to estimate what is called emotional collateral before she embarks upon a fixer upper. Because I'm not going to lie, for whatever reason, a lot of women have this thing about, I can work with him. I can work with him. You have to evaluate your emotional collateral before you call yourself investing your time, skills, talents, and abilities in somebody that just may be too destructive to save. You know what I'm saying? Because you heard of the term save a hoe, right? Well, there are women that are trying to save a hoe ass nigga. And you have to have the emotional collateral to embark upon that challenge. And if you
Listen,
don't, he will take your ass down.
let me be honest with you. They had that term save a hoe and they talking about women. But for the most part, it's the women that's trying to save these hoes, these
And
hoe ass men.
that's
And I'm
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
honest with you. Most of these men, if you look at the stats, a lot of these men have felonies. A lot of these men are
A lot of
unemployment.
them.
A lot of them have so much baggage, and they sit up here and get on YouTube and talk about a woman with baggage, and a woman with body counts, and a woman with children, and most of you Negroes are unemployable and can't, like, this shit is the most ridiculous, upside down, backwards world on
And
YouTube
they'll
that you
tell
could
you
ever.
forever. They'll tell you forever. I'm gonna show you. And I've heard these statements out there.
Listen,
They're telling these girls, I'm gonna show you what a real man can do. So basically, he's admitting that he is not yet of manhood to be with her, but she's not reading in between the lines because of that pity factor. It's like, oh, he
yes,
just needs a little support. He just needs a little
yes,
support. They get caught up in somebody who doesn't have the mindset, the proof that his mindset is established in manhood. He's not she walked up to him as a crippled creature, basically, be it emotionally,
yeah.
psychologically, or
My daughter,
whatever.
who's 23 with an 800 credit score, who can go buy any home she want, can do all this shit, who has a degree.
Who run across a
She
man with no credit?
she's supposed to be looking for a husband that's I guess 25 years older than her to match her finance. I mean, this shit is
And if she
crazy.
doesn't, people shame her for it. There's like, oh, I guess you think you too good for a regular everyday brother. And it's like, it's not about the regular everyday brother. It's about who's competent so that he has the endurance to stick to a commitment in a positive, uplifting way. I mean, everybody's
Listen,
going to have disputes and conflicts, but when you know how to resolve them intelligently, that's the start of a good foundation. I think so, anyway.
I listen. This damn marriage my daughter about to get into. You know what? I'm not gonna even address it, but I hope everything work out
Take
well
take your time. Yeah, take your time.
because I just hope and pray. These young people keep saying none of them want to have children. Even my son, these people keep are adamant. Black people are adamant that they don't want to produce more black people.
I
My
used to
whole
be like
thing
that.
is, what if you get to be 5 or 10 years down the road married and then say, I want a baby now? It
They
is
will.
scary to me that one of them want out because now the other one want a baby. This is the thing. You may not want it right now in your 20s, but who's to say what you're gonna want at 25, at 30? You see what I'm saying? It's scary to me.
Hmm.
And these people are adamant that they don't want a child.
A lot of
Not
people,
one, not one. And I
a
keep
lot of people are
saying,
doing that
how
these days.
y'all saying this and y'all gonna get married? What if one of y'all change your mind? Oh, we not. Oh, I don't want. Oh, we not. And that's just it. So stubborn and pig-headed. But what if you change your mind, daughter?
That's
I'm
the
not.
nature of young people, though. They
And I
they
asked,
think their thoughts in the moment are what their thoughts are going to be forever.
yeah, but that's not how it works, Mella. That's really not how it go.
It's
How you
absolutely
are
not how it
today
works.
may not how you gonna be 5, 10 years from now.
But young people don't, I don't know what it's going to take for young people to understand that there's a concept called forward thinking, and to make such a extreme testament of like, no, I'm not ever going to have children. You can't say that because you don't know what you're going to feel 10 years from now. 10 years from now, you wake up, you're like, I want a baby. It's a biological fact that most women have the hormones that it takes to adore children for a reason. That's how the population grows because we have hormones that make us want to be together and love on each other, and that produces a baby. And to just adamantly say, I don't want children, I, I don't know if they're really engaged in forward thinking. And young people have a habit of doing it. They just don't engage in forward thinking. They are under the impression that their decisions are going to be what they believe for life. And they're young. They have yet to really experience the hormonal changes
Yeah, but that's
that come with
crazy.
their,
I'm
yeah,
For you to believe that, for you to believe
that's hormones, child.
that's the only part. Everything else I love. Listen,
That's
my
the
future
hormones
son-in-law, my
talking.
future daughter-in-law, I love both of them. I think they're great people. I'm not trying to hate, and I kind of feel like they think I'm hating on they future nuptials. So I try to stop talking about it so much. But I just don't understand how you saying nobody is going to ever want a baby because that's just not how hormones should work, as far as I know. but I don't know. This a new
I
new
know a
era.
couple that has
This
a
a new
dog.
era.
There's a couple that got a pet
Wait,
dog. They
wait.
got
Let me say
okay.
that you said a dog. My
That's
daughter.
what they think. That's what
And
they
her
think. The
fiance,
dog
y'all.
instead of the baby.
Wait, they bought a cat, girl, and bought freaking sweaters and matched the cat sweater and took family pictures. Girl, for
Lord
Christmas.
have mercy,
This
Lord.
this shit crazy. See, I just can't. I don't
It,
know. Maybe I'm just old. It was
mm-mm.
funny. It was funny, but like that damn cat is not my granddaughter. Y'all not gonna convince me a damn cat gonna be my.
Exactly. You're not gonna have me in PetSmart buying outfits for a damn cat or a dog, okay? For
Yeah.
Christmas, pretending like
I,
that's my grandchild. That's crazy. And
girl,
they
keep saying your granddaughter want your granddaughter. God, stop saying my granddaughter. I ain't never had a granddaughter.
they gaslighting you, mule. They gaslighting you.
Mella, I can't. These young people, I really can't take. I don't know what's going on with the young people, but it's ridiculous right now. I really, they scare me. I'm gonna be honest. They scare me with their mind frame. And like I said, I love the kids, but I don't even understand this shit. I don't. Other people, y'all can say I'm old fashioned. Tell me, help me, please help me understand how
One thing,
why.
the one thing I've encountered through perception is that every generation has some resentment of the previous generation that raised them. And I think it's some type of defiance because hormonally, biologically, everything that they insist that a cat is your grandchild goes against nature. And so I call it biological rebellion. And so there I call it biological rebellion because it doesn't make any sense to push off on you that they're content with a cat that is supposed to supplement a child. That's crazy. And so there's a lot of underlining unresolved resentment that I know I had it for until I came into a sense of gratitude. I had it. I was just like, I ain't never having children. I'm never having children. This world to this and this. Nah. And if my mama and daddy couldn't get it right, what makes me think I could get it right? So I'm good all by myself. I'm good with a man and we don't need children. That type of thing. And eventually hormones kick in and the need to procreate happens. It's just overwhelming. It's like, I think I want a baby, and it just comes out of nowhere. And then you start harping on it and harping on it. And all of a sudden, all that bullshit I was talking about, I don't want no kids. I changed my mind within what, a year or so after meeting who would be my husband, my son's father. It was amazing because I was too adamant. I was very convinced that there's no good reason to procreate. There's no good reason for it. You're only inviting the child to the aggravations and all this, just a very pessimistic view of the world is what I had at the time. And there's a song that says love. It talks about love and you know a person can be cynical when they got their mind made up. I'm not having children. That's cynicism, and eventually biology wins, evolution wins eventually. And so I don't know what to tell these young people in your life, in my life, other than give it a minute. When they say all that stuff that's ridiculous that goes against nature, I just look at them and like, give it a minute. You know, I try not to berate them if I can help it. I just find it such a disturbing concept knowing what I went through. I had those same sentiments. I actually did. And Biology wins. Biology is destined to evolve. So, as a young person, I protested all day long. Okay. And there came a time that I realized that it's important to have someone to live for more than a pet. You know what I mean? Like, I realize that people love their pets, they love their little pets and everything. It's a different
Mela,
situation
these
when you have a child.
these two overgrown as people went and took professional pictures with a freaking cat in the same sweater as them. And so me and my husband, that's their family picture.
Yeah, an animal doesn't have the same level of consciousness as a
Girl,
human being.
that
And
shit's so funny to me. I'm like, you know what? Y'all gotta stop playing. They serious though. We laughing.
I know they serious. I've seen it. I'm like, okay, you got to be kidding me. But they're not
and then
kidding.
and
They
then
are serious.
and then mad that we laughing. Like, don't be mad. That shit is not. You're not gonna convince me that this is my damn granddaughter. Oh
I
Lord.
was talking to somebody about training a dog to use the bathroom outside. And, when I was growing up, they called it paper training, right? But now they want to call it potty training, right? Because they want to start blending the terms of human activity with animal activity. See, when I was growing up, they called it paper training. We had a paper training puppy. But now they want to call it potty training the puppy, knowing damn well the dog can't use the toilet. You know, hopefully it's not supposed to. There's some weird people out here. They might be inventing that as we speak. I'm just saying that attributing human characteristics of an animal that doesn't have the same level of consciousness as a human being is cognitive dissonance. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, they think that
Exactly. Cause
that's what
my
I'm saying.
2-year-old grandson can go pee in a damn toilet. My dogs don't pee in no toilet. They go outside. God damn, girl, let me tell you
Child.
something.
And
You,
another thing,
so what I'm gonna do for my granddaughter? I gotta get her a litter box.
that's
God, this is
crazy.
so cheesy.
These people are
God,
so
these
they're
people
too
shit.
imaginative for their own good. That's what I would say. They're being too imaginative for their own good. They're coming up with these terms that they want to cross reference with human beings, and it's not biologically sensible. There's a human kingdom for a reason. Um, Now, I do have compassion for animals and pets. I don't want to see, some dog get hit in the street or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they are lesser creatures by virtue of not having the same capacity of consciousness that
Me
human
too.
beings have.
Me
Period.
too. Mel, I love pets. Don't get me wrong. Um, I love dogs and I love other people animals at their house. However, and I do not want to see none of them hitting the street. That breaks my heart anytime I see that. But it's not the same as a human being. I'm just sorry. It's just not the same. It's not the same. It just can't be. It's not. And we're not gonna pretend that it is. Point blank period.
And we can have a sense of affection for a pet or an animal per se. It's just different than a human being. You're right.
So
So they took
Mela,
a
did you
picture.
hear
They took a
earlier?
picture with the dog, with the cat, they with the sweat.
Girl,
The cat got a wardrobe.
girl, they cat got a wardrobe. Listen, my daughter is ridiculous. They got matching sweaters for the cat that match their sweaters. She orders them on Amazon. This shit crazy. This shit crazy. But Mela, did you hear me earlier when I was saying about there's a lady called A Black Beauty was on this program, and she was saying that she only banks with black banks. And so they kept pushing her to tell her name, the name of her bank. So she named Culver Bank. Everybody who knows anything knows that Culver Bank is a historically black owned bank. Now, there are several throughout the country, black banks and credit unions. I'm a member of a black bank and a black owned private credit union, right? This is manosphere men shitting on this black woman for having representation or saying or bragging that she only black banks black. They started telling her, well, it's only they Googled it, which I honestly never did, but it's 51% owned by black bank. And then they started saying, but it's still regulated by white people. And how you feel about that, Mela? Are you still up here? Let me see.
I'm still up
Mela,
here.
how do you
Can
feel
you hear
about
me?
that? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
But
Oh, okay, there we go.
Mela,
I
how do
would
you
say
feel
to
about
that,
that?
okay, to break it all down, I would say that it is that channel holder's intention to maintain their reputation of being honorary and uh and like she could have,
But wait,
you
these
know,
are supposed to be black men. This is black men owned banks.
but see,
Why
that's
would they
the
shit on black men owned banks or credit unions? This is what I'm
because
saying
that's the
about black
reputation of their
men
channel.
hate fucking black men. They hate each other
It's hard to
because
hear
if
whether
a
or not you can hear me,
but
Mule.
it's hard to hear me.
No, it's hard. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, 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 good. Because
No,
I'm
I'm
trying to
saying
mix up.
this is black owned banks. This is black men channels. They should have been celebrating this woman saying, oh, that's so good, right? But instead, they wanted to shit on her and tear her down for wanting to be with black banks, with the Culver Bank. So, what you think about that?
They're being honorary. Well, I'm not gonna do the psychological dive other than I agree that they insist on portraying hate toward each other. Black men are doing it. They killing each other, they hating each other. It's 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 not cool. So yeah, it was hate. It was hate. And it was hate for no reason. It doesn't make sense in America for anybody to imply that they're not going to recruit government funds for business building. Like everybody has to do that. Black, Puerto Rican, Asian, or Jewish people, everybody has to eventually solicit, like they call it small business associations. They got all types of, they have agencies in the government that specifically sponsor how people can build their businesses, including a black bank. So that argument that they were throwing out there was an attempt to do what they do, which is humiliate black women. They couldn't have been congratulatory because that makes too much sense, right? In any event that their reputation is to clown black women at for anything, that's what they're going to do. They're going to find a way to clown a black woman because that's what their channel is based on. So this channel that you're referring to, have they ever said anything congratulatory about black women? If not, you'll get my meaning. That is the reputation of their channel, to
They,
humiliate black women at any turn. She could be
well,
Mother Teresa, and they gonna call her a hoe. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Welcome, Koja Malik, you here?
Good morning.
Good morning. But no, I'm just saying, I didn't hear them.
Or grand rising weather. Some people are
Yeah,
into grand
Grand
rising.
Rising. But I'm just saying, I didn't hear them congratulate anything. But I do know when this lady was saying she only banks black, they kept pushing the issue until she told them the name of her bank was Culver Bank. Now everybody who is in North America, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but who is into banking black. Me and my husband been into banking black for over 20 years. How can
They
y'all shit
needed
on that?
they
How can
needed
y'all shit on that?
they look, Mule, they needed ammunition to humiliate her. That's all they do. They look for ammunition to humiliate any woman that appears on that panel. And I'm talking about specific types that you've just mentioned. Not all of them, okay? But people that have a history of humiliating people. What their MO is, okay? Their method of operation is to find the ammunition. They're gonna drag it out of you. They're gonna pull it out of you. That's why they ask people to cam up and all that other kind of bullshit. Because they're looking for ammunition to humiliate somebody. That's what these conniving bastards and bitches, excuse my language, do. They actually and then when you turn it back on them, they're all appalled, like it's not even that serious. And it's like, and men say that. Like I was on, Platinum's channel, but anyway, I was on a content creators channel, and it was just a matter of time before he decided it was time to embarrass the female guest, the woman guest. It was just everything. Like I said, you could be Mother Teresa and they will find some discrepancy, or they will try to pull out some ammunition. They will ask you what you got for Christmas. Really, that's none of their business. But then when you tell them, they'll either shut up because they're impressed, or they'll find a way to clown on it. They'll ask you, what did you cook for Christmas? And then you tell them, they're either impressed by it and they shut the hell up, or, they draw ammunition from that. I'm telling you, a lot of our Black content creators' sole mission is to humiliate people. And that is not constructive in building communities that are sound and solvent for our future. It's just not. But for whatever reason, there's some type of reward that they get for it, be it monetary or otherwise, maybe just the emotional satisfaction of taking their frustrations off on somebody in their miserable life. Who knows what the fuck they're on? But that's what they're getting down with. That's how they're doing it. That's why they did that woman like that. She should be congratulated for supporting the Black bank. She should be congratulated for that. And what did they turn around and do? They attempted to humiliate her and plant a seed of second guessing and self-doubt, because that's what they do to build their channel. And that's my response, and I'm sticking to it.
No, I completely agree. It was ridiculous. The shit was so ridiculous, Mella. I went live. I clicked off this shit and went live because I'm like, you know what?
I could tell it meant a lot to you that you
We
addressed it. I could tell. I was like,
listen.
wow, she making a live stream.
We can't win for fucking losing. This is the thing.
Yes, we can if we ignore their
It's
dumbass.
it's like even when we try, even when we think we're doing good, to some of these men, we are doing heinousness towards them. It don't even matter that we're supportive. It doesn't matter. The self-hate is so deep, y'all.
The scriptures say deal wisely with them, and they're not just referring to the characters of the Bible. Like, that's a very good statement for living. Deal wisely with them.
But
When
Mella,
you Am I wrong or right?
Big J came up here arguing. The whole thing is, even when he came up here arguing his scripture, I'm telling him, Big J, what you talking about respecting a man? The scripture tell you, yeah, a woman's supposed to respect their husband. But at no point in the scriptures do it say for a woman to love her husband as Christ loved the church and be willing. Men are supposed to be willing to die for their wives, to be willing to die, not only love them so much, they are commanded to love you and to be willing to die for you. There's nowhere in that Bible that the word of God tell you that you're supposed to be willing to die for them. Today's time is opposite world. They want the woman to be willing to die for them. They are the prize. They are the this. They are the that.
There's more
Today's
other
time,
than the
the
Bible.
men really want to
Yeah,
be. Listen, today's time, the
I
men
don't
want to
really
be.
give. Yeah, I don't really give the Bible that kind of emotional collateral that a lot of people do. I grew up Baptist, so I'm not going to deny that. What I will say is that people put too much on the Bible sometimes as an excuse to make a point that evades what it is that they're actually not saying. You
Wait,
know,
hold
like
on, Miller. Let Koja come on up because she keep coming in and out. Wow, what's good, Koja? Your connection
what's
not
happening,
good.
Koja? I hope your Christmas was blessed as always.
Hey, Koja.
It's good. You can you hear
Yeah,
me?
you not coming. Yeah, because you kept coming in, but
Can
you
you hear me?
dropping back down. Yes, I
There you
can hear you
go.
a little.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's choppy.
It's choppy though.
Let me go. Now,
Yeah, she keep coming in and coming back out. Cause
It'll work out. It'll work out. It
yeah,
always does.
yeah,
hmm
I'm gonna put some in the back chat.
I don't know, but anyway,
I think she said she was gonna put something in the chat until she gets a signal connection. Or stay. It could be a plane overhead or something. It don't take much to interrupt a signal if it doesn't. It's like when I paid for the service, what the hell is going on? And they'll say, ma'am, the signal is and they just try to break it down to different frequencies of other things.
Mella, that's you
Destruction
and
on.
Koja talking together. You and Koja talking together, and we can't hear Koja. We hear
Oh, I
every
didn't know
other
Koja
word.
was talking. I'm sorry.
I'm
Well,
not
no, we
saying
could
nothing.
we couldn't hear Koja
Can you hear
anyway.
me?
'Cause
Can you hear
yes,
me now?
I can hear
yes.
Koja now. Yeah, I can hear you clearly now.
I want to say those men, and I ain't got a lot of time. Those men will put down anything that make them look less or give somebody the appearance of shine, even if it's another man. They will dog black man because they're with anything. They're so insecure that they think somebody else having a little knowledge or shine or doing something that makes them look less. And they don't have self-love and self-esteem on the inside. So they got to get it through these clicks and views. They're just a bunch of insecure men. Because people who really secure in themselves don't shit on others like that. Yeah, that's all I
There's
had to say.
insecure women.
Women too,
Yeah.
people who do it all the time, it's them problem. Other men too. That's why he can support the black man because he ain't got in comparison to it instead of saying that ain't my lane. I got to show somebody else cause that's how they are. But I'm gonna jump on that one. Don't worry yourself about you. That's them people insecure. They ain't gonna never change. Don't let their stuff down your spirit. And I got to jump down. I just wanted to say that.
No, can y'all hear me? I'm just saying for the millions of black women who's trying to support black banks and black credit unions, hopefully I'm the only one that heard it. But if I'm not, that shit is so discouraging. Why y'all want to turn people off from supporting black men's businesses? It's ridiculous. It really is. And then when black women finally pull their money out and stop supporting, then they really gonna have something to complain about. This shit crazy. Mella, you still there? But anyway, let me see. Culture says those men will belittle anything that makes them look less. Hmm. Child, look. Culture took it. Not Culture. Mella sent this here text. It says, "What is a good man? Many will agree that a good man is committed to his relationship and partner. A good man regards and respects his partner, even in disputes. He understands that relationships demand love, patience, commitment, and endurance. One of the signs you have a good man is when you see him as your safe place." Reference the article, definitive signs you're with a good man. And then it's got a whole nother link. Girl Miller, these men I'm talking about, no ma'am. I'm not gonna even no, they're not in no kind of reference to what I would consider a good man. Straight up and down. I don't know what's going on with all your internet, but hell no. This is not good man. Boom. I don't know. But I'm about to play. If nobody else is coming up, I want to play what I want to consider part two. Let me let me go play part two of pro-white male leadership. Because I'm telling y'all, these people, these men hate us. Listen, it's nothing more evident that these men hate us than them bragging or saying that if Tory Lane shot a white woman, he would deserve 22 years. But since it was Megan Thee Stallion, a black woman, a black bitch, no way he should get more than 5 years. And thinking it's a joke. You shouldn't get that many years for shooting a black bitch. The shit's so sad, y'all. But I want y'all to hear this shit from pro white male leadership because she's telling us straight up, these people just don't like you. They don't like us. And you know, as a woman, I've been fighting hearing that. I've been fighting it because you don't want to believe it. But the truth is, even when Big J come up, he don't deny it. He just telling me like I'm using some misquote from the Bible. Same shit they do. Misquote the Bible. They use the Bible to make us servants, right? And treat us like we nothing. They never want to talk about the women in their book who run shit, right? I'm about to find this here right quick. I had it queued up and then I went and found something else. Oh, let me go back out of here. On here, on here, on here. Here, right here. All right. So I want y'all to just wait. No, take this earpiece off. I want y'all to listen to. Oh, and I want to say this is fair use. Countries. Well, in those countries, the multinational corporations. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Rather than what the money can do for you.
No.
Is that really that bad of a thing? Let me say this. No, absolutely not. Okay, but is that bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it bad if I make every country? Colonization is a man-made thing. It's not exclusively white men that colonize countries. Everybody is a colonizer. And here's the thing. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a necessary thing. Um,
boyfriend, and she'll be encouraged to shut the fuck up because she don't want to ruin that, and aren't there enough black men in jail and shit like that. And so this continues. Yeah.
Are y'all hearing this shit?
And so,
well, I want y'all to hear this. I don't know if it went out.
Like men went to Africa and just sort of rounding them up and tying them up against their will and stuff. When in reality, they were like, "Oh, we'll give you 5 barrels of spice if you give me 10 slaves." And the guy was like, "Deal." You know what I'm saying? That's how it was closer to that. Well, and so like
it was Florida.
Yeah, so like that's like I don't know, man. I think whenever you look at like South Africa and the area of essentially that they call CBD, which is the big industrialized skyscraper part of South Africa, like white men, colonizers are what made that city have a skyline.
Yeah, I had a friend who his father worked for the oil company there in South Africa.
And without it, we see what Africa is without that. You know what I'm saying? We've all, there are parts of Africa to this day that are like that because white people never went there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I don't know, like what's more evil? Like beating the ass of some violent guy that does something in the name of some god, or just whistling and walking by while
white man that colonized countries. Everybody is a colonizer. And here's the thing. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a necessary thing. If you study history, in every continent, the most powerful tribe or group of people overpowered the other, and they forced their influence. And through time, the people that were conquered with the conquerors ended up being the same group of people through time. And look, throughout Europe, they've done it for years. Europeans have enslaved each other for forever. Let's be honest. We don't see it because it's all white people doing it to white people, right?
Well, it's not talked about.
It's where the word slave comes from, sclavius.
Yeah.
The Greeks and the Romans enslaved my people.
But the thing of it is through time, these people become one nation. Whether and not focus. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a necessary thing.
Can y'all understand what he just said? Do y'all understand what he was just not saying?
And men, it just shows that men are evil, regardless of what racial group, ethnicity, regardless of who you belong to. Men are corrupt. But
I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's evil. I don't think that's corrupt. I don't think it's anything. Honestly, I feel like it is the good thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, imagine the women and children in what we now call, in like ancient Aztec, like what they were being subjected to. You know what I'm saying? And the fact is, while we see Spaniards as oh so bad, like the fact is, the reason why that ever stopped, the reason why that's not continuing to this day, is because the Spaniards came along and stopped it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're bad for that. I honestly think they're right for it, and I really do think like it's almost impossible to find objective history, history that doesn't take a side and play favorites. And the thing is, like when I look at this, right, like it's like if you grew up in America and you read about slavery, and it sounds like white people went to Africa and then just rounded up a bunch of black people like with lassos or something, and then just brought them here. Very few people know that they were enslaved by other Africans and then sold like goods, almost like they were something you would buy off Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like most people don't know that. Most people have this idea in their minds that white people went to America, that white men went to Africa and just sort of rounding them up and tying them up against their will and stuff, when in reality, they were like, oh, we'll give you 5 barrels of spice if you give me 10 slaves. And the guy was like, deal. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was closer to that.
Well,
and so, like,
what's border?
Yeah, and so, like, that's, like, I don't know, man. I think whenever you look at, like, South Africa and the area of their country that they call CBD, which is the big industrialized skyscraper part of South Africa.
All right, guys. I just want to say fair use and come on to y'all and say, what do y'all think about that shit so far? Huh? What do you guys think about that? These white men who are strictly telling you, and I'm going to be honest, that shit took me far back, right? Anybody want to come up and discuss it? Do anybody disagree? If you don't disagree, if you disagree, speak now or forever hold your damn silence. Because we know that all races enslaved each other. Oh, it's going in and out. I don't know what to do about that though. Shit. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Do I just repeat what the hell they said and y'all trust me on it? No, because I do ad lib, right? So I don't want to infer something that they're saying and they might not be saying that. So no. I'm just gonna shit. Let me see. Let me see if I can let it play a little. Let me see. I'm just gonna let it play a little more.
Like white men, colonizers are what made that city have a skyline.
Yeah, I had a friend who his father worked for the oil company there in South Africa.
And without it, we see what Africa is without that. You know what I'm saying? We've all, there are parts of Africa to this day that are like that because white people never went there. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I don't know, like what's more evil? Like beating the ass of some violent guy that does something in the name of some god, or just whistling and walking by while, the woman of his race gets sacrificed in a temple.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I get your point. And I think if there wasn't colonization going on, I believe men would be treating the other men horribly. Tribe or a group of people overpowered the other, and
I don't
they
know
forced
why,
their
but I
influence.
just realized that my thing went on mute. I don't know why it went on mute, but I'm gonna rewind it a little bit so
It's
you guys
because
can
the
hear.
Spaniards came along and stopped it.
Yeah.
You understand? So I don't think they're bad for that. I honestly think they're right for it, and I really do think like it's almost impossible to find objective history, history that doesn't take a side and play favorites. And the thing is, like when I look at this, right, like it's like if you grow up in America and you read about slavery, and it sounds like white people went to Africa and then just rounded up a bunch of black people like with lassos or something, and then just brought them here. Very few people know that they were enslaved by other Africans and then sold like goods, almost like they were something you would buy off Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like most people don't know that. Most people have this idea in their minds that white people went to America, that white men went to Africa and just sort of rounding them up and tying them up against their will and stuff, when in reality, they were like, oh, we'll give you 5 barrels of spice if you give me 10 slaves. And the guy was like, deal. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was closer to that.
Well,
and so, like,
what's border?
Yeah, and so, like, that's, like, I don't know, man. I think whenever you look at, like, South Africa and the area of their country that they call CBD, which is the big industrialized skyscraper part of South Africa, like, white men, colonizers are what made that city have a skyline.
Yeah, I had a friend who his father worked for the oil company there in South Africa.
And without it, we see what Africa is without that. You know what I'm saying? We've all, there are parts of Africa to this day that are like that because white people never went there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I don't know, like what's more evil? Like beating the ass of some violent guy that does something in the name of some god, or just whistling and walking by while, the woman of his race gets sacrificed in a temple.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I get your point. And I think if there wasn't colonization going on, I believe men would be treating the other men horribly. They would be doing the same exact thing. And the thing of...
No. Okay. Did you hear that? I'm not for everyone. Most people ain't up here. Give them a few minutes. Let me see. Mona's wig itself. Cut out again. It's going in and out. Well, technically, white men couldn't go deep into the interior of Africa and last long. 10 died of malaria within a few weeks. Most struck on the coast. thing that's sitting. Listen, these are some white men who telling y'all about white men. Oh shoot, I'm trying to replay it. Fair use, everybody. I don't know what's going on.
Books and all this stuff. For
Listen to
anybody
this shit.
listening, if you don't understand eugenics, just briefly, just a layman way of explaining it is basically that superior breeds with superior. You know what I'm saying? And that there is also natural selection with that those who, kind of suck, they will eventually remove themselves from the gene pool. Something that we need to do. First off, people that are better, and I'm not talking about any race or gender right now. I'm just talking about, like, if you are better than somebody else. Right now, for a long time now, for like 20 years now, we've been pushing this thing where you really got to feel sorry for them. But if you are weak, do push-ups. If you're not getting good grades, study more. Like, you can do this. You can be better. No matter who you are, you can be better. It's a question of whether or not you want to put that effort forward. And black men have proven throughout history, before any other race ever interacting with them, black men have proven that they simply have no interest in doing so. Even what little they did build, those huts and stuff, they didn't actually build. They got the women to do it for them. You know what I'm saying? So here they were using caveman technology like spears.
What do y'all feel about that? Now, what they're talking about, I just watched a documentary a few months ago, y'all, where I want to say it's in Kenya. No, it's not in Kenya. It's in Sudan. The black men there, they don't build the huts. They don't do nothing. The Sudanian men, listen, the Arab men are at war with the Sudanians, right? And it's really a genocide going on. And this genocide, anybody can do a little research. You can look it up. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to defame black people. Seriously, I'm not. But the Arab men are, this is the whole thing. I'm going to tell y'all something. Okay, so let me just start from this here point. Historically, there's never been any more pyramids in the entire universe found than in Sudan. And why in Sudan is the most pyramids? Because Sudan is part of Egypt. Sudan used to be called Northern Egypt, right? Because their river flows up. So it was Northern Egypt and Southern Egypt, right? Even though Sudan is right under Egypt, but I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, I can tell you this here. Anybody who is Somalian and Ethiopian, it's a lot of oral history. It's a lot of written history. It's a lot of nomadic history, right? A lot of people I know in America like white people history, right? Something that they can go ahead and Google. But the truth is not always the truth. It's a certain thing as ancestral truth. And right now in Sudan, is worldly history. We know if you Google where are the most pyramids found, it is in the Sudan, right? It's not in Egypt, it's not in America, it's not in any place other than the Sudan, right? Well, the Arabs want to change that because they conquered Egypt 80 years ago. So that's why it looks like Egypt is Arabic, right? But that's new. So that's why when a lot of black people see Egypt, they see these Egyptians that are Arabic or that are really mixed race people saying that they are Egyptians. We people know that's not the true Egyptians. If you want to really look at the Nubians and the real Egyptians, who were the Nubians, they were very, very dark. They were the Sudanese, what is now Sudan. And Sudan is in a huge genocide that the Muslim people are putting on them, right? I don't agree with it. However, because most of the Sudanian people are Muslims themselves, actually got conquered and took on this religion that I do not agree with myself because it subjugates their women so horribly. I normally don't speak up for the ass. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because if your ass want to take on your oppressors everything just so you could shit on your women, while these people are still shitting on you, this epitomizes to me the black men in America. You have an oppressor who's shitting on you, but as long as you can take on their religion and shit on the women, you're good. So right now in Sudan, they're killing off all the black men in Sudan. And this is not funny, but it's like, god damn, it's so representative. Like, you don't see this shit. Y'all don't see nothing that represent what these people are going through and what you're going to go through. Listen, hey, I can't help. I listen. I'm not a walking cane. I can't. I listen. This is the blind leading the damn blind. So what I'm saying is, when they are saying that even in Sudan, let me tell you, the black men so scared to build a hut because they're out in the open. The black men are so scared to go get water. They send the women to get water. They send their wives, right? This how scary the Sudanese black men are. They send a woman, and if the Arab men catch her, get in the water and rape her, violate her, then they will want to disown her from the tribe and shun her, right? Which they welcome her into theirs. How dumb are these men? How stupid are they? They will beat her and shame her because she got raped. Because their whole assness wouldn't allow them to go get no water, no provisions for their own family. Because they know these damn Arabs is out there trying to kill them. So they send the women. They send their weakest to go do it. And just cross their fingers and toes and hope no harm comes to her. And the women got to do it because they got children at the house. So the women got to go do it because not even if they're not concerned about the men, they know they got babies that they got to bring water and food and shelter to. This shit is crazy in Sudan right now. But you know what? I blame black men. They're not going to kill them motherfuckers. They're not trying to fight. They're hiding. They're hiding. They go out and hide while the women go out and secure the provisions, and then they sneak back into the village. The Sudanese men is fucking cowards. Cowards. The Nubian men are fucking hiding like cowards with no fight in them. So y'all can say what you want to say, but I can tell you that's a fucking fact. All through Africa, all the villages, all the huts, everything they get made, all the buildings get made by fucking women. And you hear these African American men talking about they building. Tell me a fucking structure they building today in 2022. Please don't acknowledge no damn pyramid that you built thousands of years ago. And you niggas don't know how to fucking
While white men had built coliseums and boats and guns and ships and books and all this stuff. And the reason why is because they just didn't want to. They just didn't want to do anything. They didn't even want to build a shelter. They got the women to do it for them because they just didn't want to. And so there's something like the Bible has a line like a man that doesn't work shouldn't be allowed to eat or something like that.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't think government handouts and such are a good idea because they enable people who just don't feel like doing shit. Now, like, do I want to do things? Of course not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could never work somewhere is paying for it.
Yeah.
And that I got to do my part. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there eating chips while everybody else cleans up the house. Like, someone has to do something. But black men, they're that tight. They're that tight to eat chips and watches people clean up the house. And so my opinion is, so you don't have a job and you don't pick up, then why the fuck are you here?
There you go.
Be here. And so, like, I would kick them out. And that is what I think it is. And if they refuse to get out, I don't think an ass whooping is out of the question.
Yeah. And Vincent, I like you. You.
Wow. If you refuse to get your ass out, kick your ass out. What you think? What y'all think? I just want to say fair use. Fair use. What y'all think? Anybody want to come? Is the link posted? I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Please support the channel if you feel like it.
You know what? I wouldn't care. But does that benefit me as a person? No. That's not a good thing. Does that benefit us in society? No. And here's the thing. Nobody should have privilege over the other. I don't care what sins of the past are. That's in the past. The past is dead. Slavery is dead. It's gone. Jim Crow is gone.
One thing about slavery, whenever people bring it up, is that nobody alive today had any involvement in that.
Yes.
And so bringing that up really is a scapegoat. And you just brought up the lotto, and I think that's I think that's a good example. Because the lotto, like if I won the lottery right now, I would invest the thing is, like, Dave Chappelle once had a skit, if anybody watched the Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah, I saw it.
For like all the, I think you know where I'm going with this, like all the black people got reparations, and somehow they all ended up like millionaires, right? But the skit was all about this stupid ass shit they were doing with their money. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that you can count on black guys to do, is that if you had them, if you won the lottery, like you're talking about you getting fat and everything, but I don't think you would do that. I think you would have the foresight to invest at least, let's say you won $5 million. I think you'd have the foresight to invest at least $1 million of it. You might use another $1 million to pay off any debts you have or anything like that. And you wouldn't just blast it all on yachts and jet skis and stupid shit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know that tomorrow is still going to come. And so, and I don't think, like now, I mean, you're talking about getting fat, but you'd have so much time because you don't have to work. You, I think, would actually, once you got over the initial fun part,
I don't think that they have the mental capacity. Yeah, but no, they're not our brothers and sisters in Abrahamic faith, because we ain't part of Abrahamic faith. This is the lies. Negro, if you think you're part of an Abrahamic faith, you are foolish. From experience and from what we've seen historically, I don't think they understand. Yes, they don't want to do the work. They want to melt into other men's societies. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, they black. We are not part of no Abrahamic faith. This is a lie. Oh, Lord. This is why, as black people, we will never truly be.
I think that's true. I think a big part of it is even if you talk to
Mello, what happened?
No, I'm good.
What happened
Yeah.
earlier? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, it was an interruption. There comes a time when a human being has to heat up their Christmas food and snack a little bit. And while you eating, all of a sudden the phone not working. So I'm like, okay, let me restart it and see what happens. And then this Henrietta thing came up, and I got
Henrietta Polk.
Henrietta Lacks.
Oh,
You know,
Henrietta Lacks. Yeah.
yeah. So I got immersed into reading a couple of articles about how she's owed a hell of a lot more thus far. I was looking at some pictures that they used. What I was really delighted is that they found a more motherly image, because a lot of the pictures that she took, she was sassy. Let's not forget that she died at the age of 31. So, she was youthful. And when you're youthful, you kind of take sassy pictures, right? And so those are the images that are representative of her. But some artists took the time to make a more motherly. She's in. I don't know if I could forward it to you, but I was delighted that they've updated the representation of her image, because I'm telling you, at 31, you could be fast out here. Okay, you can be sassy and. Like, how somebody's like, "Hey, girl," and they take a pic because they have Polaroids or whatever. They had more manual cameras. I'll put it that way back then. And so you're announcing to somebody rather that you're about to take their picture, and they put on their, what it is they want to display. And sometimes a young person, not knowing that they're going to have a legacy for history, they'll put their hand on their hips. They'll put their two fingers with their tongue through it. They'll do all kinds of crazy shit. It's like, have you thought about your future before you take this kind of picture? But
Yeah.
young,
And we
you
have
know,
all taken those kind of pictures.
we have all taken those type
But
of
we don't
pictures.
think that will be our last pictures, right?
I was at the most elegant gala, at the time of my life, back when I was about maybe I was 25, I guess. I was 25 years old. I was dressed to the nines, okay? Very eloquent, elegant, exceptionary. I'm sorry. I just look exclusive, God damn it, okay? That dress with the ostrich feathers, the black velvet with the ostrich feathers, that dress was basically too grown for me at 25 years old to be in. That was an absolutely incredible dress. And I go to this event with my 25-year-old mind, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of money in here. Yeah, it's everybody look. See, I'm still thinking about rap music. I'm still thinking about Tupac. I'm still thinking about, just I was young, okay? And so when somebody says, this professional cameraman comes up and I'm with the CEO of a very prestigious agency, the director, I should say, of a prestigious agency, and I'm getting ready to take a picture. Do you know I put up the two fingers with the thumb? Like, yeah, how people like they put their two fingers pointed. I made a gimmick of it as opposed to understanding the seriousness of the picture. Fortunately, my husband, my first husband, whatever he is, my first husband, he was like, take a serious picture, baby. And so fortunately, there is a serious picture with me and this man who I won't name, but is very important to this day and still remembers me. And that picture was the representation given in the newsletter for the agency. But had I just said, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm gangster with it. Just being young and radical and rebellious. So I said all that to say that Henrietta is too important to have pictures that emphasize her sassiness. She had to have a image that represents something more regal than that. And so when my internet got interrupted talking to you, Mule, while I was trying to eat some, food, um, I turned the device back on and this Henrietta update came on from NPR, which is a news reporting station. And it was discussing Henrietta. And I started reading it and reading it. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And then they emphasized that an artist has donated their talents to portray her for the legacy that she is. It almost brought tears to my eyes because I looked at the pictures, the family pictures, and she got her hands on her hips and she's sassy. But we have to remember, she died at 31 years old. At 31 years old, a lot of women were sassy.
Listen, at 22 years old, my husband took a picture of me with Tom Benson, the owner of the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, Lord, what did you do? What did you do?
Girl, I was so goofy.
And that's what I'm talking about, forward
But this was
thinking.
the thing.
We have
Me
we
and
have
him
to.
was taking pictures. Tom Benson so happened to walk up. My husband said, "Oh, take a picture with my wife." And he said, "Sure." We took 3 pictures. One of the pictures is a good picture. It's a very good picture.
Thank God.
2 of the pictures is me turning my ass to my husband.
That's what I'm saying. When we young, we are just some type of way. That's what I'll call it.
Pictures is not good.
Young people are some type of way. They don't understand forward thinking. It's like, do you want this to be a representation of your legacy for living when somebody encounters it decades from now? What do you want your image to represent decades from now? Young people don't think about that. They're like, hey,
22, girl, me and my husband was taking all kind of crazy pictures and had somebody else taking the pictures of us with his camera. But then when Tom Benson come out, my husband said, "Hey, take a picture with my." And I said, "Cool."
And it took my first husband, God bless him, to say, take a serious picture. Because what he loved about me is that I'm fun and energetic. But in that time, because he was much older, he's like 12, he was 12 years older. He is rather 12 years older than myself. And he said, this is going to be placed in the newsletter. Take a serious picture. So I'm glad he was there to remind me that this is not just for shits and giggles. This is, a photo to be placed in the newsletter that will represent the agency as like the director of the agency chose to take a picture with you. Take that seriously, and I'm glad he corrected me about that. But I keep in mind, he's 12 years older. And me being 12 years younger, I'm just there to have fun because I wasn't engaged in forward thinking as a young person. That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, what do you think about what these men are saying?
Forget about it.
Why forget about it?
Which men are you referring to?
Until what I was playing.
Oh, you had a video that was talking about colonizers. I heard the colonizers part, and then that's when I I thought it would be more beneficial in engaging with you under sisterhood to hit the link than just sit up there and try to catch up with the stream that I missed. So I did hear the colonization part, and I'm not sure of the context of what you played. I heard two guys talking about. I heard those two guys talking about something, but the word that stuck out to me was colonization. Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, white people and their sense of colonization as a cure for developing the world.
Yes.
Um,
So basically, these men are white men are saying that not only are black men failures throughout the world, they're failures here in America, and they're tired of them harming black women. These three white men said that they need to pick up a cause for white men to start marrying and protecting black women in North America against black men because they're tired of seeing them being femicide by black men
Mm-hmm.
and
I'll
saying that the black community just doesn't care.
I'll say this.
That's the ultimate. That's the end of the video.
I'll say this
Hmm.
because I know this is being recorded. This is live, not Memorex. So I'll say this to be diplomatic. There is a concept called refurbishing. You yourself had mentioned how you learned how to make a couch, right? You learned hands on how to turn something from nothing, right? It may have been, uh, you know, you know what I'm saying? And so a person with the confidence and arrogance, the confidence in their arrogance. See, that's what this is about. The the black man is exercising a confidence in arrogance that they can't stand on due to the fact that historically it doesn't compare to what is visually seen as to how they were colonized to build what. See, that's the thing, right? See, I'm trying not to be confusing. When I look
You,
at
Mello,
when I when I look at
you are confusing me.
okay, when it comes to labor, like when it comes to black men being
No,
accused
okay.
when it
So
comes to black men killing
let's just
black
say,
women, right?
yes.
When it
Let's
comes
fix
to
that.
black men killing black women, I think that black men are wrong in everything that they find frustrating about themselves to the point where they are proverbially kicking the shit down to who they think is the lesser threat.
Yeah,
See,
but Mello,
they're not taking
even
their
with the
frustrations
mega
out on the white
stallion,
man.
but
They're
listen,
taking it out on the black woman. And that's what they're doing. They're taking their frustrations out on the black woman up to killing her, as opposed to taking their frustrations out on their true enemy. Black
okay, but
women are
listen,
not the black man's enemy.
let me cut you. Even with the mega stallion verdict, these men started saying horrible things. I heard guys saying 22 years for shooting a black bitch. I could see if he shot a white woman, he could deserve 22 years. But shooting a black bitch, he should never get more than 5 years. This
You
is
heard
black men.
you heard their delusion. Only somebody delusional would say that. That's delusional.
I heard black men blaming her for ratting and snitching. Even if he shot her, she should have kept her mouth shut. That it was only her foot. She shouldn't have said nothing. Like she don't deserve justice because she a black woman. I heard the dumbest shit from all types of black men.
Hmm. I'm privy to a little information about that case. From what I gather, he is responsible and he got the penalty. And black men don't commonly appreciate responsibility. That's just what it is. You can count on very few hands how many black men embrace responsibility. And and the fact that they are just going to pawn it off to she's black, she's a black woman, it's all her fault, is discounting a sense of responsibility that a black man has to have. They don't want to give
Listen,
they
they
don't
don't
want to
give
give.
him no responsibility. Even if
Yeah,
he shot her, she still
it's
shouldn't have
still her fault.
snitched. She still shouldn't have told. It's still her sending a black man to jail. It's like nothing he did was him doing this shit.
That's the dereliction of their position. They're derelict in their position of manhood, and that's pretty much what it is. And they're going to promote that the dereliction of their manhood is not what it is. It's something else. It's the black woman's fault. When in actuality, it's dereliction of manhood. That's pretty much what it is. You want to announce, I'm a man, and at the same time, I don't want to be a man. It's their position is um to just make sure that our people are confused. They don't even realize that they're being agents of chaos. They just want to keep throwing the chaos out there. And I don't know I have no idea what the future holds for our people when our own men are addicted to promoting chaos amongst us. That's really all I have to say about that. Because I don't have a prepared speech, damn it. If you give me a minute, I can prepare a goddamn speech that'll blow your mind. But off the rip, off the dome, I'm just saying that black men are agents of chaos, and that is what they determine to be a comfortable position, and they're going to promote it to the detriment of our people. That's what I've observed on these YouTube streets. People that I encounter in something other than these YouTube streets, otherwise known as reality, engaging with people personally on a regular basis, they don't have that mindset. It's just this YouTube thing that, like you said, clicks for views. I think you mentioned something earlier about they do it for clicks and views. That's pretty much what it is. The more eye-catching a controversial title is, and the more they get rewarded for that through clicks and views, they're going to keep perpetuating it. It's a YouTube thing, because that's what you're speaking from. You're speaking from what you've seen on YouTube. I guarantee when you ask someone in your day-to-day, travels of running errands or whatever, black men think that, yeah, he got what he deserved. That was the opinion I've encountered with black men in this real world. Black men online, they're perpetrating that it's her fault. And that's what they're going to keep perpetuating rather, because it brings clicks and views. You'd be surprised that some people are saying stuff that they don't even believe in the core of their soul just to get clicks and views. So if you're looking for like a sincere person, good luck. If you're looking for a sincere content creator, good luck, because they have the incentive of clicks and views to think about. So they're not being
It's not that I'm
completely
looking for
100%.
but Mela, it's really not that I'm looking for a sincere person or content creator. What I'm looking for is normalcy, right? A sense of normal people being able to think of what
And
is right and what is wrong. If you shoot me, I think you should go to jail. If you shoot me and it's not self-defense, I do believe you should go to jail. If you shoot me and I don't have a gun to shoot you back, or I'm not a threat to you, it should be normal for normal people to say, why would he pull out a gun and she don't have one as a reasonable sense of threat on a female? You understand? That's what I want. I want normalcy.
Under the guise of incentives available for content creators, do you really think you're going to run across that in these Black YouTube streets?
You
They have
don't.
incentives, exactly, because they have incentives that compromise their integrity.
But
Okay.
these black men come up with every damn excuse and every crybaby ass excuse. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired of hearing them cry. I'm tired of hearing black men cry about slavery. I'm tired of hearing them cry about Jim Crow.
What do you think you're going to do about it? I'm being straight up, respectfully. What do you think when this has been going on for
I
more than a
guess, I
decade?
guess
What do
I'll
you
go to
think
the
you're going
other
to do about it?
side. I'll
And
go.
that's what people are doing. They're dialing back. They're going somewhere else. They're finding things that are more sensible and normal
Not
because
even sensible.
black
Cause some of
YouTube
this
is not
other shit,
normal.
some of the other shit is just as outrageous. I'm
You
gonna be
have to
honest.
know walking in the door, black YouTube is not normal. Period.
It's
And when
not.
you yeah, and that's the escapism that brings people back because we are experiencing normalcy in our lives, and when we want a so-called guilty pleasure, we escape to what's called black YouTube, engage in the ratchetness, engage in the senselessness, engage in the what the fuck just happenness, and then we get the fuck we go away and get back to our normal lives. It's here providing the service of escapism, and it's doing it in a way that can be harmful for those who are expecting it to be something more sincere than what it is.
Well, it's
Well,
harmful for me.
you know that term when
It's
people say,
harmful for me.
I know.
It's harmful.
That I know it can be. It doesn't have to be. When people say it's just YouTube, they mean that shit. It's
No.
just a tool of escapism. That's all Black YouTube is. It's a tool of escapism.
It's a
That's
tool of
it.
hate. It's a tool of hate.
That's part of the escapism. We don't experience hate in our normal lives. I know I don't. You don't. You're loved. We're loved. We're loved. And then we go to this thing called Black YouTube where there's nothing but hate. And it's like, wow, what level of hate are people going to practice today? And we experience it and then we get the fuck on back to our
Yeah,
normal,
but we
loving lives.
experience our men hating the women
I said what I had to say, Mule. I don't know
all
what else to
day,
tell you.
every day. I'm sick of it.
So what do you think you're going to do to
I'm
change
gonna.
it?
I'm the
You going to
mule.
climb up Mammy Mountain?
Yes. Damn it. All by my fucking self.
I heard you say that. I said I'm gonna put everybody on my back and I'm climbing up Mammy Mountain. I was laughing. I was like,
How all my
you better
motherfucking back.
get it, girl. You
I'm gonna
better
bring you
get
too, Mella. Mella, you on your way. We are on our way.
it. Shit,
I be
I
damn. I be damned if
that's
I let my fucking sons and
that's
daughters
not
fall
my
for this
idea
shit.
of a
If I let my sons and daughters fall for this type of hate, this type of dumb shit, this some sad shit right here, man.
You know what I found really tripped out was not being being hesitant to share live streams with family members and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there was a time when I first joined YouTube, I would share, you know, I would have certain people that love me and I love them, And I'm talking about family and friends, and dare I say, even associates, acquaintances, like people that have normal lives. I wanted to share, this habit called Black YouTube. And and it started getting really, really embarrassing for them to listen to that because they can't relate to that type of thinking. They don't have that psychotic uh sense of entrapment. You know what I mean? Because trust and believe, it takes a certain it takes a certain person to be able to endure this chaos. And when you are surrounded in your normal life, people that aren't chaotic minded, they can't relate to it. And dare I say, they will judge you for engaging with it. It's like, well, why are you talking to those people? Like, you don't have anything in common with them.
Yes. Earlier
Y-
today, I actually had somebody, I was listening to that manosphere shit. I had somebody say, they anti-black. Why you listen to anti-black people? And
But
I'm
there's
like,
something about us that
these are these are all black men.
there's something, and I'll
You
tell
know what
you
this guy told me? But they're clearly
what he tell you.
anti-black. They're clearly anti-black.
See,
And when you're listening to them, you think they're just
I was
hating
about to
black
explain
women.
why we do it.
But wait, what I'm saying is when I listen to them, I clearly think they're just anti-black women. But it's funny when black men who for the first time hear them, no, they're just anti-black people. That is the disconnect. We think as a woman you hear anti-black women, but black men who not used to this shit hear anti-black people.
I'll tell you this. People like you and myself, we like to make sense out of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
That's our crippling fault of our personality. We search to make sense out of nonsense. It's called refurbishers. It's called garbage collectors, dare I say. Like, we are refurbishers in our heart and spirit. We believe we can make sense out of nonsense. And because that is a part of our personality, just the heart of our nature, we're looking for instances to point out that needs refurbishing, you know, because I don't believe anything is useless. I believe everything has a purpose, a good purpose. And I'm going to participate long enough to figure out how to change it into a good purpose when really there's no purpose for it other than the escape hatch of reality that we experience. We experience normal, loving relationships in our lives. We come to Black YouTube, we get all the hate, we get we experience observing it, we experience participating in it, all that kind of stuff is because we are trying to learn how to fix it. But there is no fixing it. And I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but do we really believe, specifically you and I, do we really believe that we could talk some sense into these people? Do we really believe that, Mule?
Mm.
Do we really believe we can talk some sense into these people that are saying the most outrageous things? Do we really believe that?
I don't know, but I want to say thank you, honey, for supporting the channel. Thank you, Kiana. Thank you.
A shout out to the chat room. Much love to y'all. I'm sure everybody had a.
I don't know why
I'm sure
people
everybody's
want
safe
to
and
hate.
happy.
I don't know what black people would get out of hating on black people. That's my thing.
Sensationalism, baby.
But listen, what I am loving is white people showing, hey, we not only let me just be honest with you. When I was young, before I was married, I went out with a white guy. And I went out with him
What?
because I worked,
Oh, Mule, you didn't.
listen, I worked with his sister.
Oh, Mule then went out with a
No,
white
no, no,
man.
listen.
Damn it.
I worked with his sister and he used to have to bring her to work. And she would tell me, my brother wants to take you out. And I would say no. Just because I wasn't used to it, right? And so she would say, my brother wants to take you out, blah, 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 over and over again. And I would say, nah. I mean, I talked to her brother when he would drop her off. He was really nice. And so she would always speak for him, right? But he never spoke to me himself. So she would always say, oh, my brother really like you, blah, 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 blah. So one day I said, okay, give your brother my number. So one day the brother calls, he takes me out. He asked me for my phone. I mean, whatever. He asked me, can we go out? We go out. Everything was really, really nice. I didn't have a problem. Everything was nice. And when I say he was a pure gentleman, he was. And that was it. All right. Um, what I am enjoying lately is white men speaking. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, part of the reason why that relationship never would have worked was because of the culture I was brought up in. I never would have been with a white guy because of so much discouragement and shit I would hear from black men, my brothers, whenever they saw a white guy with a black girl. So I never would have wanted that for myself, right?
You
But
didn't want
now
you didn't want the pushback.
I would have never, girl, I couldn't handle that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be honest with you. I could never handled it. It wasn't for me. But I am happy now that these brothers are honestly out there saying, I mean, these white guys are honestly out there saying what they're attracted to and what they're liking. I like it more so because it does give black women more encouragement or freedom to not feel guilty if they do eventually date somebody outside their race. I felt guilty because just the black society I grew up in just wasn't ready or accepting of it.
And what if I told you that they think we're the forbidden fruit?
I I don't know because I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
I would tell you this here. Um, I have a cousin who's married to a white guy over 20 years, and they have beautiful kids. And what I love about their relationship is different from my uncle. My uncle, to me, pretends he's a white man in blackface. My cousin, who's married to a white guy, is a real black woman, and her husband just loves her. I feel like when black men get with white women, they pretend they're somebody else. But I do know when black women get with anybody, they just love that they black.
Let them tell it. We behave with when we are
Yeah,
coupled with
when black
with
men
white
get
men.
with white women, they talk
That's
out
their
their
complaint.
nose. More like Honda, and the black men who get with white women shit on black people all day. Black women who get with black men want them white women all in their family. They want them to learn how to barbecue. They want
The complaint is that when anybody engages themselves outside of their culture, they behave. So why can't they behave with someone within their culture? That's
but
the complaint.
it's just not true. I have two female family members. I have so many men, even one of my brothers who have dated and have children outside their race. They is the difference. The difference is they pretend to be somebody else. Black women, what I love about us, we just us. I'm telling you firsthand. And I'm not talking about from me. I'm saying from what I observe. We just us.
I was examining whether or not I behave differently around other ethnicities than my own,
Mhm,
and I find that I'm the same. Um,
mhm.
however, when I'm online, it's a whole different persona. It's where I adjust to whatever panel I'm on. I so much so that people have noticed that I don't hold grudges. I discuss the topic at hand, or I'm responding to a confrontation without bringing up stuff from the past, only because it's just YouTube. You know what I mean? There's really nothing to resolve when it comes to this thing called these black YouTube streets. People make it they sensationalize it because they have to keep their channel going. You know what I'm saying? And I know that that's putting out the fires of somebody's flame. I'm just saying that it's evident. It's evident that it serves the purpose of escapism as opposed to being taken seriously. That's what the purpose of it is. When I talk about these black YouTube streets, that's what it is. So it doesn't really have enough significance in my thought process to go to somebody else's channel and say, yeah, because I was over at such and such and they did this. And that's not fruitful for what the purpose of Black YouTube is. The purpose of Black YouTube is to do something different than what you do in your normal life. Now, unfortunately, there are people who are psychotic enough to take it seriously to where they are, investigating and deep diving into people's personal business. That's a whole nother level of crazy. And, if you're fortunate enough to find a balance, like I can, just hip hop and and navigate conversations with people, but I don't have to make it to where I'm gonna take a contract out on you or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But there are people that take it that seriously. Oftentimes, those are the felons. Those are people that have the mindset of a felon. Not always. Not always. There are people that have rehabilitated their sense of chaotic past. They've grown past their past. I'll put it that way. They've grown past their past, and they're not taking those attributes into conversations with other people because they're not like that anymore. But you have some people that they have found that to be very effective in dominating people, conquering people, in a debate or argument or conflict, and they use those tactics. And when they get rewarded for it, their channel grows. And next thing you know, they have incentive to keep that senselessness going. And I'm just asking you once again, what do you think you can do to change about that when they have incentive to keep the chaos going?
I don't know what I could
You
do,
talking
but
about climbing up Mammy Mountain with everybody on your back? That's what you think you're gonna do to change this thing called Black YouTube
I'll
to
get
be
a
a
switch.
more normal space?
You think
Really?
if you get a switch and go find out where everybody live and whoop their ass?
Well, that sounds violent. I don't believe in corporal punishment. Personally, I don't.
I mean, it's one or the other. I get find a switch, find out where everybody live and go whoop
Yeah,
that ass.
corporal punishment is too cruel of an endeavor for me to even
Girl,
dwell on.
somebody gonna beat me up.
I can't. Yeah, I can't do the corporate punishment thing because I know what it's like to. How can I put this? I know what it's like to impact someone's life irreversibly, and I don't ever want to be responsible for doing that again because there's too much of a that's a heavy load to carry on your shoulders.
I don't know what to do, Mela, but I do tell you this. It is
Sugar
very.
Bomb, I see you, girl. Sugar Bomb witnessed me talking to some unreasonable people on Christmas, online on Christmas. She witnessed it. Like, I mean, these people are unreasonable, and I love it because it challenges me in how I can determine whether or not my mind is still strong. That's why
Yeah.
I love it. God damn it! I can
Hmm.
say, you know what? You ain't got dementia yet, bitch. You all right. You know what I'm saying? That's my greatest fear because I've taken care of people that have had, God rest their soul, they experienced Alzheimer. They experienced dementia that was Alzheimer. I mean, they were so vibrant, so sassy, so clever. And then they do something as simple as get into a car accident and it jars them. And because they're a particular age, their children say, well, maybe you should stop driving, daddy. You should stop driving. And so they go into being, his guardian. Here's a man that's been self-sufficient and hell led them to the promised land of self-sufficiency. And here it is, their children are telling him, you are no longer able to think for yourself. So we're just going to take over everything. We're going to, you know, take over everything. And before you know it, he has a resolve of, I'm just here. They told me I'm supposed to just sit down and not do nothing, so I'm just here. And before you know it, he starts going down and down and down in his cognition, and you see it, and it's like, oh my God, this man used to be like one of the greatest things on earth. And so dementia, like when you take care of people, I didn't physically take care of them. I'm saying I've observed these people, and that I was like, if he was only allowed access to Black YouTube, he could test his mental, he could test his mental, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think people that are experiencing cognitive decline, they can experience the privilege of people testing them with ridiculous, senseless, circular arguments so that they can, strengthen their, just keep their muscles. And it's just like the brain is an organ that needs stimulation. And I think as ratchet as it is, I think Black YouTube serves the purpose of gauging whether or not you still have the cognitive grit to hang in there. And that's why I love it. I would encourage anybody that is like, damn, I can't remember why. I can't remember. Anybody that's starting to do that to themselves, get on Black YouTube, get in the argument, and strengthen that shit up. This is therapeutic, man. As ratchet as it is, it can be therapeutic for people that are sitting back in normal lifestyles where they are loved and catered for too much. I'm loved and catered to too much. And before I know it, I was like, well, damn, I need some engagement. I need to find out whether or not I can engage my strategic thought processes, whether or not I still can conceptualize how to structure a sentence, in a way that doesn't include being stuck in shit. Cause hear people that do that. In between every sentence, like they don't know what the fuck they thinking. And I was like, I pray that I don't get like that. I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, uh, uh, in between every sentence. That's mental decline. Be aware of what you're saying, how you say it, discover your pace, and keep it pushing. And that's my message to the world, God damn it. Don't let the ease of life make you so fucking lazy that you can't think straight. That's how these people start their cognitive decline because they are being catered to too goddamn much. They have to be challenged. They have to, someone has to demonstrate to them, you too still have a purpose in how you think and influence and engage. And if you have to do it through shock, like somebody calls you a bitch, somebody calls you a nigger, somebody says, your kids ain't shit. You have to learn that you still have the cognitive ability to fight back. And if you don't fight back, you are co-signing cognitive decline. Fighting back is what makes you endure longer and stronger. You got to know how to defend yourself in this world, even if you are catered to, even if you have nothing to worry about. You still have to know how to defend yourself. And you have to know how to think through it. So I'm not gonna shit on Black YouTube. I think it's a lot of shitty people on Black YouTube, but I'm not gonna shit on Black YouTube. It serves a purpose. What do you think about what I just said, Mule? You still climbing up Mammy Mountain or what? You gonna just let it be, or you still trying to fix it? Just discern that when you hear something that doesn't make sense to you, it's your choice to engage in it or walk away. It's always your choice, Miss University. You always have the power of your choice, Miss University. Are you playing a video in the background? Let me go to the chat and see what y'all talking about.